We turn now to political prisoner and award-winning journalist Mumia Abu-Jamal. Abu-Jamal has been struggling with medical problems for the past several weeks. In and out of the hospital, he's dealing with a number of severe chronic conditions, including open wounds across his body, extreme fatigue. Additionally, he's lost an extraordinary amount of weight, 80 pounds. He is back in the prison system now, relatively stabilized but not out of danger. Prison radio tells us that, quote, he is weak, in a wheelchair, and his legs are wrapped in bandages. Mumia's independent doctors have still not been allowed to examine him or directly manage his treatment. His condition remains serious, undiagnosed, and untreated, end of quote. Supporters have accused the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections of attempting to execute Mumia Abu-Jamal through medical neglect. And despite his medical conditions, he filed this commentary about the recent political debate over the NSA and the congressional fight to pass the USA Freedom Act.
NSA, anyway. Since the disaster of 9/11, the so-called Patriot Act, one of the most misnamed laws in recent memory, given its content, has been an obscenity burrowing through the Constitution like a boll weevil through cotton. The Patriot Act was perhaps the most unpatriotic law in modern history, for it was based on fear, not reason, as perhaps best exemplified in the words of Michigan's veteran, Senator John Conyers, who told a broadcast audience on a BET news program, back when BET had news programs, that he signed the act without reading it, saying, "We were scared." The law gave a treasure trove of snooping powers to federal agencies to look everywhere, lest terrorists lurked. It strengthened immeasurably a new branch of government, the national security state. And government, empowered by the law, turns its lenses, mics, and attention to its central subject, you. Since the 70s, the era of the Vietnam War, the peace movement, the civil rights and black liberation movements, the women's movement and student movements, the government waged secret war against American citizens, including figures like Martin Luther King, comedian Dick Gregory, the Black Panthers, and beyond. They committed crimes vast and small, including murder. Remember Chicago's Panther leader Fred Hampton, killed in his very bed. The Patriot Act, even with its recent minor changes under the so-called USA Freedom Act, remains an obscenity, a blatant violation of the Constitution in letter and spirit. Reform is not enough. It must be abolished. From Imprisoned Nation, this is Mumia Abu-Jamal. These commentaries are recorded by Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio.